everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Integrative Health Coach Success podcast. My name is Kate Mills, and today I'm going to be diving into a topic that's going to help you go into every initial consult with more confidence. This is one of the things that I hear really often when I'm talking to a new health coach, maybe someone who's just graduated, or you graduated a while ago and are just kind of diving into your one-on-one practice. And that's that they're really anxious and they don't have the confidence in their own abilities to walk into that initial consult with somebody and feel good and confident that they can help them achieve their end goal. And what this does is it puts unrealistic expectations on you. So if you're going into it feeling like you don't have the skills or you don't have the knowledge, you're putting these expectations and anxiety on you that's going to have you going into the appointment with less confidence. So my goal today is to help you understand not only what the actual client is expecting, but give you real tools that can help you show up with confidence every single time. So first of all, this new client, maybe you've put in all this work on social media, or it's a referral, or you've been talking to this person on a sales call and you've finally got them to commit and you're super excited. But how do you show up and already know how to help them even before you get on the call? And the first thing I like to have people do as I'm working with new health coaches is I like to help them understand what this new client actually expects from an initial consultation. Because once you understand that, it's going to help you to have expectations for yourself. And like I said, show up with more confidence. The first thing is they want to know that you're listening. They want to feel heard. They want to feel understood. A lot of times people are coming to a health coach and have tried a lot of other things. Maybe they've been through Western medicine. Maybe they've tried other solutions that haven't worked. And they want to feel like they have someone who's on their team, who's actually committed to their success and is there to learn and not just to learn and listen and not just spout out tips and tricks. Right? So they want to feel like they're being heard. They also, again, want to feel like they're being understood. They want to believe that you have a unique solution to their problem. Because, like I said, often people come to a new health coach having tried other things and not been successful. And with us as IHPs and integrative health coaches, we do have a very unique approach because we look at the root cause. So making sure throughout the process, they know that there's a reason that what they did in the past didn't work and that you're helping them to identify that reason and move past it. They also want to know that you care and that you're not just there to make money. So I'm going to talk about this in a few minutes because if you're someone who is going into a consult and all you do is recommend paid products, paid, right? They're going to get this feeling that maybe there's more to it than you just caring about them as a person, right? So I always recommend people coming to the table with solutions that are going to give them free options for things as well. I'm going to dive into this more in a second. They want to leave understanding what their next steps are and what the roadmap is going to look like. So they want to have action items and next steps that are going to be easy to implement, that are going to give them quick wins. They're not going to expect overnight success. And this is important as you're communicating with them, that you're not putting unrealistic expectations on the process with you, and that you explain to them that this is going to take time as we peel back the onion. Right? So if you go into the initial consult understanding they want to feel heard, they want to feel understood, they want to know that you understand their problems and their symptoms and that you have a unique solution to helping them overcome them. They want to know that you care and that you have easy action steps that can fit with their life. Because often people have roadblocks that have kept them from moving forward on their journey, like they travel a lot or they don't have any time. And this is an important thing as you're going into the call to listen for, and that's going to be the next one. So step 2 is going to be having a really in-depth intake form. Now, if you're an IHP, Dr. Cabral provides a really great intake form. Other certifications do as well. What I recommend, and something that's been hugely game-changing for me, is on the first page of your intake form, having a checkbox section where you can identify in this one section all the core foundations that this person is missing. So, for instance, you can have a section that says, I walk 10,000 steps a day. I sweat multiple times a week. I drink half my body weight in water every day. I'm eating 8 to 10 different fruits and vegetables a day. You're literally listing out all the things that if they were doing them, you would be more confident in having solid foundations. And if they don't check them off, you know exactly how to help them in their first consult. So this is where we talk about how to get them quick wins. If they're not drinking half their body weight in ounces a day, that's a really simple one for you to go in with. If they're not walking 8 to 10,000 steps a day, that's another really easy win and easy foundational thing you can start with. So if you have this checklist for yourself and you go through all the most important foundations to health that you know about, and you ask super simple questions that give you the answers you need, then you're going to go into every consult. It'll take you 3 minutes to look at this checklist. You're going to go into every consult with confidence, knowing that even if all they did was improve those 3 to 5 foundations, they would see an incredible improvement in their health. And that'll give you the confidence that you know how to help them. If they're not sleeping 7 to 10 hours a day, or they're not getting quality sleep, or they're, you will be able to recognize these things so quickly and you'll know what to address. So they might be coming to you with the problem or the symptoms of they can't sleep. Then you're going to look at this questionnaire and say, okay, they can't sleep because they're drinking coffee after noon. So that would be a question you'd ask. Do you consume caffeine after noon or 2 p.m.? If the answer is yes, and they've got sleep problems, you've identified a big problem right there. So this simple checklist can be a total game changer because, like I said, within a few minutes, you can go into your initial consult with 5 or 10 simple things they can do to make a big impact in their health. And when they can have quick wins, that's again going to build their confidence in you and give them more motivation and momentum to keep moving forward in this process with you. So it's a huge, huge tip that I would give you is to create this checklist for yourself and add it to page 1 of your intake questionnaire. You can obviously go much more in depth with, asking, are you moving your bowels twice a day? That's again, another one that'll give you a huge tip to what some of their root causes are that you should address right away. Right? We know we want to get people doing the detoxes. We want to get people sweating. We want to get all these foundations moving. And sometimes the questionnaires are so in depth that we miss the basics. But the basics sometimes are what are going to get people moving forward the fastest and going to make the biggest improvement in their health. Number 3 is learning to listen and identify their roadblocks, their desires, and their current symptoms. Where are they right now? Where do they want to go and where they want to be? And what's holding them back from getting there? Now, this is going to be different for everyone. So let's say someone comes in and they aren't sleeping. They're not having a really good night's sleep. They're struggling with maybe 5 hours total, and they're waking up a lot. They're going to the bathroom multiple times in the middle of the night. Where do they want to be? They want to be sleeping 7 to 8 hours a day and sleeping through the night, not going to the bathroom. And what's holding them back from getting there? So they might tell you, well, I travel a lot and I'm really stressed with work and I have a baby that sleeps in the bed with me, or I drink really late at night, or I can't get over my coffee, right? Learning to listen for these 3 really important things, because this is going to help you to identify how to help them moving forward, but also to create that roadmap and your framework, which is what I'm going to dive into next. Because if you understand them and you hear where they are now and where they want to be, and you understand the problems that are holding them back, maybe it's emotional traumas from the past, maybe it's they've failed at other things so many times, or they haven't gotten results from something and they've been trying to lose weight for 10 years and nothing's worked, right? There's a lot of frustration there. There's a lot of, lack of motivation because nothing's been successful. And that is a roadblock. So it means that they may not be able to move forward on this journey. And so as you're creating this path and plan with them, you need to be able to address these roadblocks to help them overcome the things that are holding them back, and then give them this roadmap. And this is one of the next things that's so important. It's one of the first exercises I have every single health coaching client do, and every single business client in general, even if it's not a health coach. is I have them create their frameworks and do it ahead of time. Now, there are a lot of different frameworks in this business. There are tiny frameworks for individual problems. There are big, overarching frameworks. That's your entire method for getting someone well. And if you can spend 1 to 2 hours creating these frameworks for yourself and having them ahead of time, then you're going to go into every consult with confidence, because let's say someone says, oh, I'm really struggling with sleep, or energy is a really big problem for me, or I'm having horrible, stress response. You have a framework for each individual one of those. So let's take sleep as an example. You will have your own framework for sleep. And in this framework will be step-by-step tips and tools that can help them get from not sleeping to sleeping really well. Okay. And this is a 2-part to do, because the first part is to create your framework, which is the step-by-step roadmap. The second part is to create your list of solutions to those problems. And this should be a combination of free and paid tools. So for sleep, as an example, if you're writing down absolutely everything you know of that could help someone sleep, or that could be a root cause for them not sleeping, that would go on the list of solutions. So let's say it's waking up and going outside and getting natural sunlight in the morning. That is a free solution. Then you've got wearing blue light blocking glasses after 7:30 p.m. Then you've got stopping drinking caffeine after 2 p.m. Then you've got the melatonins. You've got so many different tools and things that you can provide as solutions to people who are struggling with their sleep. You've got stopping eating after dinner, right? All of these are going to help them get from not sleeping to sleeping. So if you create this long list, if you think about every possible thing that could help someone improve their sleep, right? And you have that list. You do the same thing for someone who wants to improve their energy. You do the same thing for someone who wants to improve skin issues. You've got this long list of solutions. Then you put it into a framework. And as you're on the consult with someone, if this is one of their primary problems that they come to you with, you have a list and you can say, okay, great. Here's the first couple things you're going to do. You're going to stop eating after dinner. You're going to start wearing blue light blocking glasses. You're going to go outside first thing in the morning into natural sunlight. Let's do those 3 things and see how much of an improvement do you see. And let's stop drinking after 7 p.m. because you're getting up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night too often, right? So you've got these solutions on the tip of your tongue because you've created your solution list and you've created this framework. And usually you don't want to give people 30 different action items, right? You want to give them simple, actionable steps, not too many of them because it'll get overwhelming. So you pick out the ones that can work with their life and their lifestyle and combine free and paid options. Sometimes the free options are all you need. Sometimes you do need to go a little bit deeper and recommend something like the blue light blocking glasses. But if you have that list of solutions and you have this framework from A to Z, how to get someone to sleeping like a baby, not only can you use this in your consult and it'll give you so much confidence going in that you know how to help someone, but also this framework can be turned into all different types of things. It can be turned into 50 different social posts. It can be turned into an ebook that you trade for an email or a lead generation tool. It can be turned into an online course. It can be turned into so many different things. And so these frameworks are something you're going to use for the rest of your career. So if you spend the time now creating a framework for each individual problem that people are facing, you're going to have them getting quick wins. You're going to go into these first consultations, and any consultation for that matter, with the confidence knowing that you can get them to their end goal, as long as they're willing to take the steps, right? And so this is where, when you've done the active listening and you've heard their roadblocks for taking action or getting to their end goal, you can then recognize, okay, this person is struggling with late night eating. Yes, this is a really important thing we adjust, but here are some simple habits that can work around that for the time being so they can still see some improvements, right? So creating these frameworks for as many of these different symptoms as you can is going to be a game changer for you. Because then on this intake form, they're going to give you their top symptoms. They're going to tell you, I'm really struggling to sleep. I've got a lot of fatigue. My skin is a mess. They're going to give you all these problems they're struggling with. They don't know what the root causes are. And often there are root causes that we have to look at: toxicity, parasites, yeast overgrowth, things like that. But there are still quick wins that we can give them with lifestyle tips and tricks. So if you go in with this list and you've got it next to your desk, you've asked all the right questions, then you are 10 steps ahead, and they're going to see real improvements quickly. So those are two of the biggest exercises I have my clients do so that they're confident, right? And usually I also have people go and do an exercise to help understand their client, because again, the more you understand them, you understand the pain points they're struggling with, you understand where they are now and where they want to be, the more successful you're going to be and the more motivated they're going to be to work with you, because they know that you understand them almost better than they understand themselves. The last one I want to point out is having a professional system set up. So I know it's hard when you're just getting started because you might be feeling like you're all over the place, but you always want to have that professional system set up to help you not only onboard the new person, but follow up with them after. So you talked about all these things on the call, right? You talked about these recommendations you made. You talked about this roadmap of what you're going to be doing next, how you're going to support them in reaching their goals. And what do you do now, right? You follow up with them and you say, it was wonderful meeting you, and I'm excited to take this journey with you and support you in reaching this goal. Here are some of the things we discussed. And you break down and you can link to some of the products you recommended, but it just gives them a reminder, right? And the other thing I like to do is when they're a new customer, I put them into a new customer email sequence. And this is going to trigger a new email maybe once a week. And that email is going to be an email sequence. So it's not going to be specifically customized to them, but it's going to give them more simple tips and reminders about things that they can do to optimize their health. And it can be very simple. The first one can be, again, introducing you and your method toward helping them get well. So you're just going to build the relationship and build the trust by following up with this type of message. Because if they've only had one consult with you, they don't really know you very well yet. So the more you can build that relationship and that trust, the better, and the more likely they are to keep moving forward with you, whether on one-on-one appointments or in higher ticket packages. And then the next couple emails maybe are value driven. Maybe they're a blog that you wrote about the importance of detox, or it's a blog about how to improve your sleep, right? So having a professional system in place is important. And I dove deep into that in other podcasts and webinars I've done, so you can search for those. But I really hope this was helpful. It's really important as you're going into coaching that you use the tools available to you to show up with confidence, because it's going to make you so much more excited to bring in new clients if you're not going into it with a lot of anxiety and fear and unrealistic expectations of yourself. If you know what your clients are expecting of you, you already have your frameworks and your solution list in hand, and you've got a professional system set up, you're going to be off and running, and you're going to love and get excited about every single appointment you run into. So thank you so much for joining me on this episode from the Integrative Health Coach Success podcast. If you enjoyed this and are looking for more, make sure to subscribe on any of the podcast platforms or follow us on YouTube. See you soon.